So we were having guests that night. So it was about lunchtime. We were watching the cooking program. Charlotte was out, Robert was out. We were watching the cooking program. This is the time when Simon liked to hang around with me. And we're sitting there watching. And now there's this wonderful recipe with ice cream. And Simon and I love ice cream. So our ears pricked up, and we start now concentrating very much on the ice cream recipe. And he babbles along and he mixes and everything, and we got a couple of notes and we watched a little bit, but not 100%. And then we decided for the dinner party that night that we would attempt this Jamie Oliver recipe. And it was called something, a semi-Freddo. So we got all excited, we're going to make the semi-Freddo. So Simon started quite enthusiastically. And we had jotted down kind of the recipe and the ingredients. And very soon we discovered that the only ingredient that we had in common to the recipe that we were going to make was the glass bowl. We had it. But that did not deter us. We decided that we were going to, come hell or high water, present this for the dinner that night. So we went, Simon and I got in the car, we went to the Yeovil OK on a Saturday afternoon. The recipe called for raspberries, it called for Maltesers, it called for double thick cream and blanched almonds and meringues. And I've got notes, something else, okay? So Simon and I, all enthusiastically, start looking for these things. Even 12 years ago, 14 years ago, the OK in Yeovil was not a sophisticated place. To say, let's just say it like that. So we could not find even strawberries for the raspberries. So I found sponspic. I mean, isn't that a good substitute? We're going to give it a South African flavor. I mean, raspberries and sponspic, they're very similar. Okay. Simon was confident at this stage. Then we start looking for the double thick cream. I mean, I can hardly find it at Woolworths, let alone on a Saturday afternoon there. So we found pouring cream. And if anyone has ever tried to whip pouring cream, it don't work, okay? But we didn't know that, we were confident. Then it called for Maltesers. Now Maltesers, I don't think do we get them now? But we certainly didn't get them there by the OK. I find Whispers in a packet, in a box. But the Whispers, the Whispers, you know how chocolate, I don't know if it's when it sits in the sun, when you open it, it's like white. I think it still tastes okay, but it's white. It's not moldy. Have you ever had chocolate that long that it can go white? Yes. Okay, all right. So we got the Whispers, and I think that's all we got, okay? And we went home. Now we have to put this thing together because now the clock is going, because it has to be in the deep freeze for at least an hour. Now we see that we have to make meringues. Now Mandy makes the best bloody meringues. Charlotte's doing well, but this is the meringue queen. She's given me the recipe 40 times. I make charcoal briquettes. I make sludgy things. They are a disaster. But Simon knew how to make meringues. He was a very good baker. And so we started very confidently making the meringues. And I put a lot of pink food coloring in, so they were like worse, like that wine thing, okay? But we didn't have, is it icing sugar or caster sugar? We didn't have the right ingredient, okay? So if you're supposed to use caster sugar, I only had icing sugar. Now we couldn't go back to the okay. So I said, Simon, ever confident, Simon, it's okay, just put in the icing sugar, it's fine. By this stage, he starts not having much confidence with me anymore, in me. So we get these meringues never make soft peak, okay? They don't go anywhere close to soft peak. They very down in the dumps, okay? So I said, don't worry, they'll perk up when they go in the oven. Simon at this stage is almost giving up, okay? He's on the edge. So, sorry, I told you blanched almonds, hey? We got whole nuts with the shells on, okay? I told you there was one other thing. So we put the meringues in the oven, and we have to wait an hour. When we take the meringues out, this is when Simon left, okay? Because they were about this big. They weren't even crunchy. And when we put it into the mixture, they completely dissolved. So Simon, this was the last straw. He says, Mom, what was the point of that? I said, color and texture, my boy. He said, I think I must go now. I need to bath. That's fine. So the blanched almonds, we couldn't take the red skins off the whole nuts. So I just mushed them. And you know, skins are not so very nice, okay? And then the sponge we cut up into pretty little pieces. And the pouring cream or the whipping cream never turned into thick cream. But I was confident that this pudding was going to work. And Charlotte was out, as I said, remember that. So finally I got it into the only ingredient that I had, the beautiful glass bowl, and I went and I put it in the deep freeze. Shoo, over, done. And the guests arrive, and Charlotte comes back, and we have this fabulous supper, and it's time for dessert, and Rob says, where's that wonderful pudding, or that pudding that you were making earlier? I said, oh my God, Charlotte, please go and get the pudding from the deep freeze. So Charlotte goes, gorgeous little thing. Okay, Mom, off we go. Simon is like, Michelle, you know, you've got that face sometimes, like, Charlotte, ever trusting, goes off to the deep freeze. And I just hear this terrible scream. She comes back, all calm, and she comes up to me and she says, Mommy, someone has vomited in the deep freeze. And Simon's going. And the guests go, what? Charlotte, go and get a fucking pudding. Mommy, I can't get that pudding. That is a pudding. Mommy, it looks like vomit. It's got little orange carrots in it. Mommy, I'm not going. So Simon goes, I'll go and get it. And off he goes. And he puts it down on the table. And the guests, who happen to be my GP and his new partner, go, you're going to serve that to us? Oh, my God, put it away.